MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
Well, let's dissect this a little bit more. Joining us now is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. Always great to have you in. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so now they're trying to, backpedal. It looks like, KJP saying, the MAGA Republicans.
It's Rick Scott. He's the MAGA Republican.
It's the extreme, people in extreme. It could be you, I guess, too, Congressman Donalds. The press secretary saying if you support an extreme agenda, that's who we're talking about. What do you make of her comments now, just a short time ago?
I honestly don't really listen much to the press secretary because all she does is spew propaganda from Joe Biden and from the people that are running this administration. All they're doing is deflecting on the tragedy that has been the Democrat agenda from Joe Biden and from Senate Democrats. They've done this stuff together. And so they have to go down this MAGA Republican line because they think it helps them. But the polling is already showing that the American people are rejecting it because it's divisive of the country. This is not what a leader does. A president of the country should stand and bring people together, not divide them along party lines or on ideological lines. That's the worst thing to do. But this is what you get when you have a president who, number one, has no idea what his job actually entails and what he's doing. Number two, you have a president who routinely ignores the rule of law or just creates new powers whenever it suits his judgment and suits his time or suits his agenda. And so you have to divide people because your agenda's failed. Everybody knows it.
And, when she's up there saying, well, he really means it's extreme leadership, and she's trying to tailor this message now. But you were saying when we spoke yesterday, Republicans have denounced, some of the violence that happened on January 6th. So where is she going with this when you've been out there saying we never want to put democracy in jeopardy? We want to protect democracy.
Listen, like I said to you yesterday, I denounced January 6th. All my Republican colleagues have denounced January 6th. It was a tragedy for the country. It should have never happened. But then you cannot take what happened on that one day and then say that everything in the Democrat agenda is A-OK and for the country, because it is not. It's actually a lie. Joe Biden just forgave student loans with no power given to him by Congress. He still ignores immigration and border security laws at the southern border, just flats out ignores it and doesn't act as if he's caused a problem with fentanyl in his streets. It was his vice president who actually was going to GoFundMe to bail people out of jail when they were rioting in the streets of America in the summer of 2020. It was Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Senate, who actually used inflamed language that targeted Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch. It is his Justice Department that did nothing to actually protect Supreme Court justices. And by the way, the biggest of them all, it's his administration that has actually been working with social media companies to suppress dissent of the American people with respect to COVID-19 and other things going on in the country. They are the ones who are the enemy of democracy, to use his words. It is this president, it is his agenda, it is his party. The American people need a constitution that works.
Going back to what you said about student loan forgiveness, my favorite crazy ultra MAGA proposal is the one where you back separation of powers. That's the wildest one out there. Be careful if you back that one, Congressman. You're going to find yourself on a no-fly list or something. But let's move on and talk about the DOJ and the FBI's raid on Mar-a-Lago. We now know that Eileen Cannon, the judge, has ruled in favor of President Trump's special master request there, and the left is freaking out about this as well. Here's Elie Mystal, and he's a justice correspondent for The Nation on MSNBC with Joy Reid. This is quite a clip.
When you allow Republicans to control the courts, you get nothing. Trump judges do not believe in the rule of law. They do not believe in precedent. They do not believe in facts. They do not believe in logic. They just believe in whatever is going to help Donald Trump. And they've proven it again and again and again.
Yes, an independent judiciary. How dare they?
Man, I didn't know Don King was doing political punditry. I had no idea. But look, let's get to the point.
Only in America.
Freaking out. See, listen, stop smiling, guys. You can't laugh when I talk. This,
this is a serious interview. This is
just playing.
You went there.
I know I did. It's all my fault. But look, the reality of the situation is this: they're freaking out and they're mad because they're not getting their way. The political media and members of this Department of Justice and this FBI, they want to get Trump by hook or by crook. That's all they want. So now that there has to be an independent auditor to actually review this information before the Department of Justice goes forward, they don't want any of that. They want their brand of justice their way, which is we are going to get our man regardless of whatever it takes to get the job done. That's what the FBI and the Department of Justice were doing. There was no reason to raid Mar-a-Lago. They could have continued to work with the president's lawyers. They didn't want to do that. They wanted their political pound of flesh. They wanted their legal pound of flesh, and they wanted their media pound of flesh. And because this judge is saying, hold the horses, we're actually going to take a step back and review everything, they don't like that. They don't want it, because the story they want to break is that, yes, we finally got Donald Trump, and they want that to be released right before the midterm elections. It's always politics with these people.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is a Trump-appointed judge, which they're going to hammer down. But when it was Judge Reinhart, you know, they didn't make anything about tweets he had said that were disparaging Trump, that he had recused himself from a RICO investigation. That judge good, this judge no. It's so clear where they're going with this. And, you know, that's the mainstream media, Congressman. They are going to try and make Americans think that this is something, when in reality, as you said, it does seem like she's trying to follow the letter of the law, so there is due process.
That's exactly right. But I mean, look, when it comes to the media, let's be very clear. They are now out of the closet. They want to get Donald Trump. They want to cause Republicans to lose. They don't even believe in covering the news fairly. They don't believe in telling both sides of a story. They only want to cover their agenda. And if their agenda is stymied, whether it's in the courts or whether it's in a legislature or whether it's by a governor, then they bring out the horses like Elie Mystal, I think that's how you pronounce his name, it doesn't really matter, or anybody else, to try to put through this narrative and this drumbeat that Republicans are bad. It is a lie, folks. It is a farce. Republicans just want to follow the Constitution. We believe in separation of powers. We believe in an independent judiciary. We believe in securing the border, having a strong economy, being energy independent. That's what's on the ballot in November, not the stuff at Mar-a-Lago, and definitely nothing coming out of Joe Biden's mouth.
Doesn't sound radical when you say it like that, Congressman. We'll let the American voters decide, of course. Great to see you.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Congressman.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. September is historically the worst performing month for the stock market, so you better be ready for it. The Fed continues to aggressively raise rates, and JP Morgan is forecasting another mega rate hike September the 21st. Is that why Jamie Dimon said an economic hurricane is coming our way? Well, gold and silver have remained remarkably stable despite the Fed aggressively raising rates today. The Patriot Gold Group has a special incentive for Newsmax viewers. Huge! Now precious metals investors can enjoy the no-fee-for-life gold and silver IRA on qualifying rollovers, or enjoy free, discreet, insured shipping on all direct gold and silver purchases. Here's the number, 800-356-4470. Call 800-356-4470 today.